So, in the Irish Times, there was this article, and I think it was published elsewhere, about one person that asked for communion on the tongue in Waterford Diocese. And Father Liam Payne, former communications officer for the Diocese of Waterford, and Lismore said people did not seem to respect the danger presented by others. I mean, if this virus is so deadly, then don't give out communion. But if you're going to give out communion, don't pretend that giving it out on the hand is less dangerous than giving it out on the tongue. You know, if you put something on your hand and then you're using your other hand to pick it up and then you're bringing it to your mouth, so there's 3 points of contact there. Your two hands, you've put it on one hand, you've picked it up with the other, and your priest has put it on your hand. Whereas if it was given on the tongue, there's only 1 point of contact between you and the priest. And the second thing, if there's any traditional Catholics, I only receive kneeling on the tongue. And, I'm not going to go to a priest or a mass where I know this is an inconvenience for them. I'll just go elsewhere. And I think traditional minded people should just really think about what's happening now and don't give news headlines to the Association of Catholic Priests. There's lots of priests in Ireland that respect the Eucharist, that love the Eucharist, and that will allow the faithful to adore the Eucharist as we've adored it for hundreds and hundreds of years. And it seems now that the liberal media and the Association of Catholic Priests, they get their headlines and, they ring us, we're not all, traditional Catholics are not all like those Catholics you saw in Croke Park banging and shouting at the Archbishop. I would never do that. That is pretty disgusting, to be honest, for a Catholic. Or those Catholics that went to Kilchima, or no, where was it, in Ballyhaunis, and they started shouting at the priest that he was a heretic and so forth. I might not agree with that priest, but I'm not going to go down and, make myself a headline for anybody. I don't think traditional Catholics should make ourselves fodder for the Association of Catholic Priests. Why bother? What point is it serving? We hold ourselves to a higher standard than what is happening here. If the priest doesn't want to give communion out in the tongue kneeling, so be it. Avoid him. Don't go to his masses. There's no need to make a headline out of that. Because these priests love destroying traditional Catholics. They love to see any excuse to bring down traditional Catholicism. So I'm asking any traditional, real Catholics in Ireland that love the Eucharist, that have received the Eucharist kneeling on the tongue for years, maybe all their life, like myself, just avoid them. Just keep away from them. Don't go to their mass. Don't go there trying to make a protest out of it, because it serves absolutely nothing. Those priests will die off, and their values and their views will die off. Support priests that love the Eucharist. Do not give the Association of Catholic Priests a chance to make headlines because some faithful Catholics don't agree with them. There's no point protesting. There is no point calling people names. There is no point in badgering or annoying priests at all. If they've made their decisions, so be it. Respect it, and that's life. There's lots of priests in Ireland that will more than welcome people like myself who love the Eucharist and who respect the Eucharist and kneel to receive our Lord in the Eucharist. So, I'm just putting this out, and I'm hoping other traditional Catholics will do the same. Do not protest outside churches. Do not call priests heretics. Do not, make a protest during Mass, when the priest has said, look, I'm only giving communion in the hand. Don't go to those priests. Don't go to those Masses. The best way a faithful Catholic can protest is just seeking out good traditional priests. And there are lots in Ireland. Go to those Masses. Support those Masses. Fund those Masses. Help those priests, because those priests don't make the headlines, but they are the priests that will be remaining in Ireland when this generation of liberals are gone. We won't be left with them. In 20 years, the Association of Catholic Priests, that generation will be gone. And what will come after that will be true men of faith. Sadly, these guys have been formed, and I don't know where or don't know how, um, but they obviously don't understand the Eucharist, and they obviously don't love the Eucharist to say these things. You know, the way we practice our faith for hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years in Ireland, through very difficult times, the way we practice that faith is not wrong or condemned by the Vatican or by the Pope, or outlawed, or we can live that faith still. We have the right to live that faith. We just don't. And if a priest doesn't want to accept Catholics like us, so be it. So be it. Leave them in peace. Let them get on with their ministry, whatever way they want to do it, and look for traditional priests who love the Eucharist and who will allow us to adore the Eucharist as we've always adored the Eucharist. And there are lots of priests in Ireland. We should not be making headlines. We should not be giving the liberal media chance to make headlines from, our confrontation with these people. Leave them alone. Let them get on with life. We can support, fund, and help traditional priests in Ireland. And there are lots of them in many places, in every diocese. Go to them, look for them, travel to their masses, and, just keep out of the headlines. It's pointless in Ireland. It's pointless. The Tony Flannerys, the Liam Powers, the Brendan Hobans, they've had their day in the sun, and soon they will move on. They will move on. And it's time for us to support good, honest priests.